Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me is Joe. Nick should be joining us soon. He's late, as usual. Here. Hey, Thomas. Good to see you. Yeah. And so, yeah, love Joe's his filter there.
Yeah, that was all Tom.
Hopefully Tom will be joining us tonight because, this does take place in Philly.
Does it really? I didn't really pay attention
Or,
to that.
or like the outskirts of Philly anyway.
Well, I
like
didn't
the
pay
farmland.
attention to where it was.
Well, yeah, somewhere in Pennsylvania anyway. But just like the original. Yep. So tonight we are looking into a remake that I'm very fond of, the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, and this had a lot going for it. Definitely had a much bigger budget compared to the original film because the original had was a beef film, had limited budget. It's like with a bigger budget, there were more possibilities that went into this remake.
Yeah, they got hire better actors.
Well, that's one thing, yeah. But also, one of my favorite aspects of it were the makeup effects. Seriously, like that. Those I love the approach that they took in bringing the zombies to life in this remake.
Well,
Oh,
when was the first one made? The original.
it was released in 1968.
Well, there you go. Technology advancements, 30 years almost.
Yep, and thanks to the makeup effects team that were and I mean it should also be known that it should also be mentioned that this remake was directed by the legendary makeup effects artist Tom Savini. And if there's one thing I learned in watching all these horror films, that it is if a movie is being made by a expert in makeup effects, you can pretty much expect this movie to go all out on makeup effects.
Yeah,
Because I mean, they did an amazing job actually bringing these zombies to life in this. While we're waiting for Nick, I'm gonna show the trailer for this just to remind people, give them an idea. And this trailer is actually incredibly short compared to like most things that I've seen. It's only like a minute long.
really, that's a short
Yeah.
trailer.
Yep. So here's the trailer for the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. Nope, it's not displaying. Hang on.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Why do you have to be so cruel?
What?
Show some respect.
Now they're running for their lives.
A biologist in Stockton, California have released reports focusing on the phenomenon, specifically on that trance-like state.
Every shelter is becoming a trap.
Are you sure we're gonna be all right?
Cooper, you gotta help me out!
And every road out
Don't stop no matter what happens.
is just another dead end.
They're coming right for us!
George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, it looks like they had the trailer sitting there for the original one right below it.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, I'm not that. Oh wait, here. Let me double check, make sure that this this is being displayed properly because we've had a long history of this thing glitching on us. There we go. Okay, it's good. Okay, I just had to be sure. Yeah, because there are times where we play a video through the screen share and then we click out, it just doesn't show the podcast anymore. It just shows this blank screen. So
Yeah, I've seen that happen to me too.
yeah, and I'm just so sick of that happening. So I just had to make sure that that didn't happen again. But this one does throw you for a loop in some places. We have right out the beginning of the opening scene. Of course, they open it with that famous line, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." Yeah, Bill Moseley. And one mistake that I did notice in the opening credits is that Bill Moseley's name was misspelled. They spelled it with one E, but his name is spelled with two E's.
Really?
Yeah. So That's one little mistake I noticed. But anyway, I like how like as they're approaching them as they're at the mom's grave, Johnny's still messing with Barbara, saying, "Hey, look, there's one of them now." You know, you see a shambling old man. It's like you expect. It's like you've seen the original, so you expect that to be the zombie that attacks, right? But nope. It turns out it's just a scared old man who has like a little gash on his head and just apologizing profusely for bumping into Barbara. And he walks off. But then the real zombie comes out behind Johnny and attacks. And right there, you see like the amazing makeup effect, the way the skin is all sunken in, and the yellowish tone, and the eyes. You know, like I wish Nick was here because I wanted to explain like what I love about the zombies to him in this. Oh man, but yeah, the what really impressed me were like the eyes. They were just like blank, kind of like opaque, like what like opaquish, whitish look to them. They
Yeah,
just look,
almost demon-like.
yeah, the eyes just looked completely devoid of life, devoid of everything that these zombies, of the people of what they used to be. So I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, that was a good touch. I mean, the movie itself was a lot better of the zombie movies that I have seen. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
um, there was a few like real moments where you get that jump scare out of there because you're not sure until they're like right there, and then all of a sudden, yeah, yeah. But there was an obvious two giveaways. I mean, when they showed the wife in the basement or the cellar there with the child that was sick. I
Yeah,
mean, I automatically assumed she got bitten. You
yeah.
know,
Just they pretty much went with that, just like in the original. Like yeah, they said like one of the, like one of those things grabbed her and bit her on the arm.
yeah, but
You
they
know,
didn't say that till a little later. So you
a little
just
later
think,
on. Yeah,
oh, she's sick, she's running a fever. You know,
yeah. Well, I mean, well, yeah, they did really reveal the whole bite thing like a lot sooner in this version than they did in the original. They didn't really release it until like the third act. They didn't reveal that until the third act. Yeah, they did change a few things, events as like time wise in this, because when Barbara and Ben first entered the house in the like the original in the original film, like they boarded up the doors and windows immediately. But no, they in this remake they waited until later on after they had met out and they were introduced to Cooper and to, oh wait, that's weird. Where are the comments? Oh, showing. Oh, here we go. Hey, Don Joe. Sorry again, waiting for surgery. Hopefully, I'll be better in a week or so. Oh, yes. I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. I was going to tell you guys this earlier, but I might as well right now. Kate is taking a little break from the live streams, from the live shows, because she's been having some medical problem. She's getting surgery for it. So, yeah, really hope my thoughts and prayers go out to her. I'm really hoping it all works out well. So, hey, we're all here for you, Kate.
take care.
I was just commenting about that earlier, Kate. I love that filter. Seriously, that's awesome.
And it's always Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they do tweak things around a lot. They didn't want to like when Tom Savini wanted to remake this film, like he wanted to like change something so it's not just a complete rehash. And like I said, one of the biggest changes were the zombies. I feel like he did an amazing job creating like more variety as far as like what the zombies were. Like you see you see like all sorts of different like let's see. There was the first zombie that was like prom- oh wait. Like the first zombie was like a lot more decayed, but the next zombie that you see after that, which is called the autopsy zombie, the one that like right when Barbara
Yeah,
was like running back to the car.
yeah,
Yeah,
that autopsy cut in his chest or
yeah, that
scar.
was like a Yeah, that was a clearly a freshly revived zombie. And so yeah, that it also explores the idea of like this one dangerous trait that some zombies have. A freshly revived zombie can be mistaken for a live human being because as well, like you don't know it's a zombie at first. You think it's a guy, a good-looking guy in a suit, just walking towards Barbara, and she's like calling out to him for help. But then it reveals, like on his back, that his clothes have been cut down. Because that actually does make sense because that's actually how an undertaker prepares a corpse for a burial. You know, so
Right.
yeah, that they I actually looked into it, like I looked that up, like why were his clothes cut? But yeah, that's apparently what they do. And then you see like as his feet are like pulling down like his leggings, like pulling down his clothes, revealing that cut, that which is like across the chest and down. That's an
That
autopsy
Y
cut.
cut.
Yes, that white cut. That's what because that's what morticians, like coroners, morticians, that's what they do when they perform an autopsy. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is the remake. Yes, it's worth seeing, Kate. Then, like, like, I know that we've said time and time again that there are a lot of bad remakes out there, but this one I love. I
There
think there.
are a few that there's always exceptions to those rules.
Yes, yeah, this one I absolutely did enjoy because while I do don't get me wrong, the original is an all-time classic. It's like it does have its place in history, being one of the greatest horror films ever. Introducing us to the modern zombie, but yeah, like they yeah, but with this but there were some things that could have been that could have had improvement, like within the that they did improve on in the remake, such as like I've been saying, the zombies, but also one another favorite improvement I believe was with the character Barbara, because yeah, of course it was 1968 in the original, so strong female lead characters in horror films had yet to become a thing. uh, but it started to becoming more common in for starting in the 70s with Dawn of the Dead, the sequel to the original film, and also with Alien and Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. And so when Tom Savini saw Sigourney Weaver playing Ripley in those films, and it's like, wow, a strong female character fighting off the monsters. Yeah, like we need that. We need that for Barbara. So, and I just love right here. I have a digital copy of this movie here. I just want to demonstrate that moment. Oh, here. Fun fact: you can't ever do an autopsy on the Pope. Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah, I was shocked that the Pope had passed away. I mean, and also right around Easter time. I mean, has that ever happened before? Like a Pope dying around Easter?
I don't think so.
Man, that's wow. Yeah, that was a devastating loss for us Catholics. Here, let me just go to that moment. Hang on, I think it's usually I don't show footage in of movies in this, but I feel like it's necessary for this moment. Hang on, for this instance here. There, I got it right here. I just gotta let it play until it gets
Wasn't
to
the
that.
original also filmed in black and white?
Yes, the original was in black and white. Originally, they were considering the idea of having the remake done in black and white, but they thought no, like modern. If this is a modern era, we should definitely do this in color. So
Well, yeah, special effects and everything was much better. 30, here it is 34 years down the road. Yeah, it's much better. Why not do it in color?
right,
Like you said, those makeup effects, you know, back in 68, doing that in color, the makeup effects you might have been able to see more of the how they really did it or whatever, or tell that it was latex or whatever they used on the makeup back in 68 if they did the movie in color. Nowadays they've got such, you know everything is advanced, so now doing it in color you ain't going to be able to tell.
right.
you
Okay, so
know
like here's the moment like at first like Barbara was like in this remake, Barbara was like running from the zombies, like just like not knowing what's going on. But then as she's being like confronted from behind by the Uncle Reed zombie, like right here, you could see the exact moment when something just when this fierceness had awakened within here. Yep, and that's when Barbara just became a fighter.
It's like live or die.
Yep, it's that fight or die instinct that kicked in,
Oh, here I can take
and
this.
she kept that going throughout throughout the rest of the film. She became a fighter, and that's I think what was a strong was definitely like one of the greatest improvements made over the original. And Patricia Tallman, I was hoping that Tom would join us because he would. I'm pretty sure he would get a little kick out of this. But yeah, Patricia Tallman, who played Barbara in this remake, she starred in another horror film that I absolutely enjoy. It's a horror comedy, Army of Darkness. You remember? Does everybody remember that scene where they discuss with Bruce Campbell about going to get the Necronomicon, and then he at first he says no, I don't want to do that, but then there's this possessed witch that says, "You shall die. You shall never obtain the Necronomicon." That was her.
Oh,
Yeah, Patricia Tallman was in that. It was in Army of Darkness as well. Yeah, love Army of Darkness. Love it. This is my boomstick. Yes, classic. Oh my god. Let's see. Army of Darkness. That came out in when did that come out? 1992, I think. Hang on. Army of Dark. Yep, it did. Yeah, that's the year I was born. Of course. Oh, he was referring to to Kate's comment when she was replying to this. But yeah, Tony was just messing. And yes, we will cover the Evil Dead movies soon. Yeah, we definitely got to cover the trilogy and also the reboot and Evil Dead Rise. I actually like Evil Dead Rise. Like some people like it, some people don't. I thought it was interesting how they changed up the setting. Yeah, but let's see. So when you watched this remake, was this your first time watching it?
yeah. Yeah, it was my first time watching. I never really watched the first one either. Like I said, I wasn't big on zombie movies, so I didn't watch them hardly at all.
Yeah, I mean, oh, Nick says he's getting on his laptop now.
Uh huh. That'll be another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't watch a lot of the horror movies because our house is small and my wife gets nightmares or something. She don't like watching. I was lucky just to get her to watch Exorcist the night we did.
Ooh.
Because when we did The Exorcist, she actually watched that with me. I was shocked.
You got her to watch one of the most controversial and terrifying films ever.
Well, she won't even watch Leprechaun, and I'm thinking, my God, that's not that bad. Especially the third one, which is happens to be my favorite because I love the limericks in it. It's so funny,
Yeah, Leprechaun is more silly than scary.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, don't want to watch that. But she watched The Exorcist.
Uh, right.
So I don't watch a lot of movies around here like that unless she's not home. So see, like for this one, I watched it this morning while she was at work.
Ah, I see. Oh man, but yeah, definitely one of the best casting choices of this was Tony Todd as Ben. Yeah,
Oh, and
he nailed the role, and this was the first horror, and this is the first horror film he was in. This was about 2 years before Candyman.
really,
Yeah,
wow.
this was a great one for him to
It
start
just
off with.
that man was so talented, and you didn't you meet him
I
once?
did, I did.
I mean, is he really like? I mean, does he really have large fucking hands like that? I mean, in this movie, you got to see more of it because he didn't have a hook. As one, you got to really
Right,
see how big those hands were, and that means that guy got to be taller than me.
he is
You
6'4".
know, you see, I'm only six
Yeah,
foot, but I
Yeah,
got a Candyman flashback. Okay, even though it was done before Candyman, when he had the crowbar in his thing, that hooked crowbar.
right.
I kind of, you got a flashback. Oh, Candyman.
Yeah, I hear that. And let's see.
I
Yeah,
mean, it
like they
wasn't
had
a hook;
several.
it was a crowbar, but still.
Yeah, right. But it should be mentioned that there were a few people who, quite a few people who auditioned to play Ben, including Lawrence Fishburne, who like everybody knows him as Morpheus in The Matrix. But he did star in one horror film before this, and that's in Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. You know, he played one of the hospital, one of the well, it wasn't a hospital. It's more like a like a clinic. It's like
Was that
yeah,
Tony Todd in that?
no, Tony
Oh,
Todd
oh,
wasn't in
you're
that.
saying okay. You're saying
No, I'm
Lawrence
saying that Lawrence
Fishburne.
Fishburne was in it, or it credited him as Larry Fishburne.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he just
That's one of those names that I can't stand. I have that name. Okay. I mean, yeah, my name's Joe. You all know me as Joe, but it's Larry Joseph, right?
ah,
So people ask me, well, oh, is it Lawrence? No, and so you always get that,
hmm
and it drives me nuts. But I know Lawrence Fishburne from what is that documentary he does? He does a weekly or bi-weekly or whatever it is.
Oh, I haven't caught up with his work lately, but yeah, I guess I should take a look into it.
It was like one of those like unexplained things, like you've seen Shatner doing now. Um,
Unexplained mysteries.
yeah, something like that, or mystery. It was. I watched him on it, and he does a really good job.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I mean, like Tony Todd is like known for being a like a horror legend in the world of horror with Candyman, with Final Destination. I got to see the new one too, like Final Destination Bloodlines, because I've been told that that was last film that he had worked on before his death a few months back. But and I was told that during like he agreed he wanted to be in that film despite his the health problems he was going through. Like it was just like at a time when the health problems were really taking their toll on him, and then for him to have that kind of dedication to the very end, that's just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, the man has my respect. Man has my respect for that.
Well, when it's like I said before in the past, you get these roles where somebody portrays the role and they nail it to the point that nobody else could replace that person in that role.
Right. Oh, and
And he
yes.
did that. He did that in Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And he was amazing as like Thomas pointed out. I've praised him for this quite a bit on this channel. His performance as Venom in the Spider-Man 2 game. Seriously, that was like, and when I first heard he was voicing him, I was just like, oh my god, perfect casting. Tony Todd, he's got that voice for Venom. He
yeah,
does. Oh man. And I wish I could have played as Venom more in that game. You only get to like play for just a short time, like when they first like showed like Venom as like this monstrous being, I guess say a few nights I wanted to say a few nights I have been able to watch. I get the best Netflix and extra commentary. Next comment will explain. Okay. All right. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but yeah, Tom Savini. I wish Nick was here for me to explain this, but yeah, Tom Savini when George Romero was working on the original Night of the Living Dead back in 1968, Tom Savini like wanted to be part of that, but this was the time of Vietnam War, and Tom Savini ended up getting drafted, so he missed his opportunity to work on Night of the Living Dead back then.
wow,
But oh yeah, but they're he did say in interviews that during his time in Vietnam War, he was a combat photographer, and that like he had to like he would to explain that he had seen some horrific things through a camera lens, and so he used what he had the horrific things that he had seen as his inspiration to create all this gore, all this gruesome stuff in his work as as a makeup effects artist.
Yeah,
So
I believe that would create yeah, a great place to start your inspiration. I mean, I knew a guy that was in the Vietnam War as a Green Beret, and he had a picture album, and it was kind of sick because it was all dead bodies that he killed,
man,
people that he killed. He took pictures of them, and posing, with some of these bodies, and it's like, oh, I mean, it was pretty horrific. But those guys come back, they're kind of messed up too. From
yeah,
Viet, they were, they didn't get treatment like they do today, and they go to a war zone or something. You know,
yeah. Like in many cases, they don't even talk about what they've seen. Which I mean, I have a couple of I call a couple of grand uncles who served in Vietnam as well. So I get it. It's difficult for them. It's
yeah,
difficult for anybody who's been over there.
this was like a brother-in-law. So back, I knew the guy back in the '90s. He was like the brother-in-law of my first youngest daughter's mom. So
I
he's
see.
a pretty good friend of mine. But going over to his house for dinner or cookout, and he pulls out those picture albums, I was like, come on, give it a break.
Yeah.
But he was also the same guy that if he got triggered, he woke up in the middle of the night triggered, and almost killed one of his kids because he was like going through the thing, and he thought
Oh,
in his mind and what he was seeing, he thought he was in Vietnam still.
good God.
So he was going through, stealthing through his house and got to his kid's room, and all of a sudden his wife woke up and just somehow snapped him out of it just in time. So, but
Yeah.
the guy never got help. A lot of them don't,
Yeah. That
especially
is
from
true.
that era. They didn't believe in psychiatric help, so
No.
they don't go.
Right. But yeah. In Tom Savini's case, I'm just glad. It's yeah, just crazy how he like used all these horrific things you see in war to bring to life through his work. I mean, the guy made a name for himself for it with with Dawn of the Dead, Creep Show, Friday the 13th, The Burning, a long list of things.
Well, at least he took some good out of Vietnam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
With his photography and turning it into inspiration to make these great movies he's made.
Yeah,
And
and
none
he's
of
even
our
got
own.
he's even got a school program now for doing makeup effects. Yeah,
Really?
I actually looked into it. There's a 2 year program that costs like 40 grand, and you can learn to become a makeup effects artist. And I believe one of his proteges, yeah, he went on to do other great horror works, including the hit AMC series The Walking Dead.
I found this
What?
on the web.
What? No, that's off. I didn't say anything about. I didn't tell. Wasn't talking to you, Siri. Yeah, technology.
What's that, Siri?
Yeah, my Apple Watch.
Yeah, Siri.
It-
I think that AI stuff is in a way kind of stupid and senseless, but I get a kick out of, everybody, in the paranormal world and such. I've got one of the Google devices sitting right here. I've got the Amazon one sitting in another room, and occasionally they'll go off for no reason. And all of a sudden, those things will start talking or say something that makes no sense at all to the conversation in the room or what's being seen on TV.
yeah,
It has no
with
relevance,
Alexa, with I'm pointing it at my Amazon thing, and I'm like, don't you dare.
but that also could mean because the dead are actually using those things, realizing, hey, these things are much smarter than what these investigators use in the field. to communicate. You
Yeah,
know,
that is
and,
true.
and I've seen a lot of people discuss that. You know,
Mhm.
you could have like something there in your house setting that thing off.
Oh yeah, and so when they decided to recreate the zombies in what was that? My light just flickered for a second.
Yeah, it did. I saw
That's
it.
that's odd. Huh. Well, anyway,
Maybe something's trying to communicate with you.
it's gonna have to wait until after the show. But here, let me just throw. Oh, I forgot this. You ever hate? Don't you hate this in DVDs when they have to have like these
Little
latches?
lock.
Yeah, these little latches. Like, why do we need that? Seriously. But yeah, and also I hardly ever use this DVD. I have like a digital copy saved on my phone and my iPad. Or and so what I wanted to do was show this booklet which explains what their approach was in creating these zombies. Everything okay?
Yeah, I just dropped.
Okay, so hopefully,
My hand and arm are never going to heal properly. I don't think I'm ever going to get 100%. So I'm fighting it, and every now and then I drop something.
oh man, that's yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Joe. Oh, hey Billy, how's it going? The best Dead remake, along with yep, I agree with that. Zack Snyder is Dawn of the Dead. I agree, Billy, 100%. And you're here just in time, Billy, because I have this little booklet that came with the my copy of Night of the Living Dead, which and in it it explains what their approach was in bringing these zombies to life in this remake. So here, let me just go to the right spot here. Oh, here. Okay, so Volich and Burrell, who worked on the makeup effects for this, here's what they had to say here. We wanted everything to be realistic, not stylized. Other movies featuring zombies usually had people in gray makeup with a lot of wrinkles. We thought it would be scarier if our zombies looked like real people, like your neighbors, but only they're dead. We learned that the dead turned a sort of yellow, not gray, and usually as they're usually portrayed in movies. So we gave our zombies a yellow cast to their skin. We learned that a dying person's face begins to shrink in and the skull begins to show through, which makes the jaw protrude. By trying different approaches, we learned how to build out the face to get the look that we wanted. And we paid attention to every possible detail to create as much realism as possible. In addition to designing the makeup effects, they also created zombie dummies required by makeup effects sequences, and they also did some research reading like coroner like no notes on like how a person would begin to decay.
Yeah, that would. I mean, that would be the perfect place to start if you're going to make zombies. Go talk to a coroner
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
or go talk to a mortician.
Right. Oh, here it is. Oh, there's also this right here. I missed this part. Special makeup effects artists John Volich and Everett Burrell spent months researching forensic pathology books to create the most authentic living corpses ever seen on the screen. So
See,
I
and that's like what you said. The guy with the Y looked like he was like fresh off the autopsy table. You know, and it did. It looked like he was still, he still had color like you and me and stuff like that. And except for when you noticed the Y, and it was a fresh cut. I mean, yeah, they must have, and it shows in the movie.
it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, like I just love that whole approach. I mean, that was brilliant.
Yeah, it was. It was very
Yeah, I
brilliant.
mean, yeah, it's like if that show, The Walking Dead, were released back then in 1990. I feel like that's what it would have looked like.
Maybe you know, they have to first take the
Oh,
time
look
to
who's
do the
finally
research.
here. Let's go.
You
Hey, Nick,
guys did that
good of you to
research.
finally show up.
Yeah, so I had a conflict of well, an issue regarding that. After that, my stupid laptop had to update itself.
Oh, yeah, you got to keep those frequent updates, man.
Yeah, I don't really use my laptop as much as I have before, so I just try it. Because I got a lot of other things I've had to deal with. But starting in May, I'm going to be using it more frequently.
Okay, that's cool. So we were just discussing how one of the biggest improvements over the original were the zombies and their whole approach in using pathology, like forensic pathology books, to make the corpses look realistic.
Yeah, yeah. I like how they have
Yeah,
that. They really did a good job of like just the makeup effects in general to make them look like truly living dead corpses.
yeah, that's like it's like the original. I can understand. They worked with a limited budget, but I mean that's the greatest advantage. Like yeah, I mean this remake had two great advantages. It had a larger budget, and they had Tom Savini, the iconic makeup effects artist, as the director. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and being the director himself for that movie, that's quite astonishing.
yeah, Jeremy, he finally made it. Yes, Billy. I pointed that out earlier, like the way they just recreated Barbara in this, because yeah, like the whole aspect of her just being all catatonic and traumatized on the couch. It's like they needed a like they like that didn't age well, wouldn't go so well in modern times. We expect to see
Definitely
like
not.
strong leads. I mean, granted, the original was in the '60s, so this was before we had strong female leads in horror films.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
Tony B's watching too. From This is
yeah.
Tom's World. Needs to update his profile from a friend. Yeah, I could see. I know what he's talking about. He's referring to my profile picture on YouTube.
Oh man. Oh yeah, but yeah, I was also commenting earlier. Like I have the film on DVD, but I rarely ever use it because yeah, I have a digital copy saved on my phone. So yeah,
Oh
this
my
is what I
god!
use. Yeah, and what I hate on DVDs where these older ones are just these latches on. Like really, what is the point of this?
I've never understood that myself.
Yeah.
Childproof the DVD. I guess see somebody just figure out how to
Same thing
open
with the
that
original. Yeah.
drawers.
Oh yeah. What? Well, one thing they did improve on over the original was again the makeup effects.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Theft prevention. Oh yeah, like somebody can't just knows how to like no one knows how to work those latches and yeah, kind of pointless. Oh man. Oh, and also, we were just talking earlier, then Nick, that Bill Moseley, who yeah, you're all too familiar with, he was in this opening scene as
yep,
Johnny.
yeah, it was.
Yep. So this was a little bit after Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where he was Chop Top.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now.
Oh yeah, and we got to cover that one too. Texas
Yeah, of
Chainsaw Massacre
course.
2. We definitely will this summer. Totally. Yeah, and it's like yeah, his appearance was brief but memorable in this, and I just like how they improved on like depicting his death when he was like trying to fight off the cemetery zombie. Just they depicted like his head smashing into that gravestone in a much more brutal way.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, and just like it makes a lot of people cringe just seeing him just hit his head just right into that, and then you see the that gash
Yep.
afterwards.
It's like in the
And
original
also,
one. It's like in the original one, he got a concussion, and then this one is like got an actual gash in his head.
yeah. But one thing that did change compared to the original, when Barbara actually did manage to escape the house and like go around all those and like find was able to manage to find help from these hunters who were taking out the zombies. She was dodging their fire, but then landed in the pickup truck full of corpses, and among them was Johnny. So it's implied that so it means that Johnny did become a zombie, but then was killed by the hunters off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Viewers watching from my personal. Sorry, there's
I got a
viewers
question.
watching from my
Why?
personal page. Caleb's watching. Hello, Caleb.
Hey, Caleb, what's up?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Why do they always have somebody extremely stupid in the horror movies? I mean, Would you ever actually pull out a gun and shoot near gas or a gas?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. You've got a crowbar. You've got other things. Pound the lock off. No, we're gonna shoot that fucker off. Boom.
Yeah. And you guys have a lit torch, so
Yeah, in
yeah.
the truck.
That was
Yeah,
just that
when
was.
Tom and Judy Yeah, when Tom and Judy were going, yeah, like I feel like their death was like even dumber in this compared to like the original.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
yeah,
that was
if
stupid.
I guess what they're saying in like in some horror films where a character makes dumb decisions, like it's like that's humanity right there. In some dire situations, there is always going to be someone who's bound to make a dumb decision.
yep.
Yeah, I guess
That
that's
was
what they're going for.
beyond dumb, though. I mean,
It
they
was.
had no common sense. No, I mean, you grow up and come on, what idiot doesn't know no fumes around a gas tank or gas pump? If you shoot
Not only that,
something, not
using a, I
only you're going to get sparks flying.
was gonna say not only that,
Yeah.
using a shotgun, near gas. I mean, those are,
Yeah,
as far as
exactly.
I'm concerned, when it comes to gasoline and guns, yeah,
They
especially
don't mix.
shotguns, yeah, those are two things that shouldn't be combined.
No, it's because it's not just the liquid itself; it's the fumes. Gasoline gives off
Well,
fumes that'll
yeah,
ignite.
it's the fumes that's going to ignite and cause that explosion, not the gas itself.
No, you shoot it, and
With
next
the
thing you know, boom.
Exactly.
yeah, really, yeah, mess. Oh, yeah, makes it like one spark, and you're near gasoline, you become the Human Torch.
No shit.
Hey,
Yeah,
Robert. Hey, wait.
and,
I love what
and
Robert just
wait,
said. Dead,
hey, Rob.
dead, dumb, and dumber.
Yeah, no, yes, and the way they depicted like their bodies being their burned corpses being eaten by the zombies later on, like when the body that they were dragging, like I was able to tell who was who. Like the one that they were dragging like towards the truck, that was definitely Tom because Judy was inside the truck when it blew up. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
let's see. Oh, like, this song reminds me of like I forgot to mention this. You know how in the original, which they also depicted in this, right? There was this conflict between Ben and Cooper, only it got much more it was much more intense in this version.
Really?
That Ben thought that
Oh,
the best course of action were to like secure the upper floor, like board the place up, so they could try to fight for a chance for a way out. But then Cooper was saying, everybody just lock themselves in the cellar. But there was wait for help that might not even get there, and then without even get any guarantee that that door would be strong enough to keep all those zombies out. And but then one
well, he
difference is
already
that
had a
Barbara,
zombie in there in the first place and
yeah,
didn't even realize it yet.
yeah, and then in this remake, one thing that's different is that Barbara comes up with her own solution as she's looking out the window and seeing the zombies taking forever to get across a road towards the house. She was like, "They're so slow. We could just walk right past them. We wouldn't even have to run. We could just walk right past them," which she was 100% right about. Like
Yeah,
that's how
you
she
know,
survived. She got
I
up.
hear a
Yeah.
lot of that in a lot of those zombie movies that I've watched. Just walk past them. They're so slow.
Well, you can't
No.
do the same. You can't do that, unfortunately, with Return of the Living Dead because they actually run.
Yep.
You're screwed at that point.
Pretty
Yeah, but
much.
now see that don't make sense. That they
Yeah.
can
But
run. I mean, you realize and you take into all the decom decom
the
You
yeah,
can,
the decomposition.
yeah, thank you. You know that you take that all in consideration. The bones are going to be too frail to even support any weight to run,
Right.
much
But
less
if
walk.
it's
I mean, in most of them, you see some of them kind of dragging a limb as they're walking. You know,
yeah, that's true. I mean, but if this were Return of the Living Dead, yeah, much worse situation. But you just got to remember the first rule of Zombieland: cardio. Seriously, we gotta cover Zombieland.
yeah, I'm surprised we haven't yet. Definitely have to.
Yeah, we should. I love Woody Harrelson in it.
I mean, who
And
does?
Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah. Let's see. Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin. Oh man, yeah. Seriously, I love that movie. Oh yeah, Double Tap. I remember that one. Wait, how long has it?
Double Tap was
it
good.
it's really been 6 years.
Hey,
I just
Lois,
realized since Double Tap came out.
Lois
Oh,
is in the chat. What's up, Lois?
hey, Lois, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, like, and there was all sorts of distinctive like zombies featured in this. Like we covered earlier, there was the autopsy zombie who you didn't think was a zombie at first as it approached Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you see the Y like cut that was made in the chest, and
Which also means because when you really think about it, because like in the original one, you could tell that the reanimated dead was only the result of the bites, but it seemed like in this one it even extended to even bodies that were already dead to begin with. So my assumption is that probably maybe a zombie may have gotten in and probably assumed that it was perhaps like a dead, a sleeping person probably bitten and passed the disease onto it. That's the only way I can explain how that one managed to come back to life.
right,
It's not. I mean,
and
that's not. It's not official, but that's just a theory I have.
Well, that's what
yeah,
makes
that's
a good
right. I
horror
mean, in
movie.
this movie, like they do follow that whole idea that anyone who dies, regardless if they've been bitten or not, comes back as one of them.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Well, in this case, he was probably already dead to begin with. For that's what I mean. Since he was an autopsy corpse.
Yeah. So he was a freshly revived corpse. So he came back just recently
Yep.
when that happened. Yeah. I did think about covering The Walking Dead, Billy. I'm just trying to figure out how are we going to do this because we do need to cover the rest of Stranger Things before the final season comes out in October. So that means everybody needs to get caught up with Stranger Things.
Speaking
Yeah.
of TV shows, have I got asked Don? Did you watch Last of Us season 2?
Oh yeah, I'm watching it tonight.
You said that last week.
I did and I did. I
Oh, you,
watched I watched that first episode.
I thought you. Well, that's why I said season 2. I thought you meant you were watching episode 1 tonight. I didn't realize you
But
watched it already.
I already know what to expect in it because I played the
Yeah,
game. So
I'll be watching episode 2 later tonight too.
oh here Willow said sorry I'm getting mixed up with these names here, but yeah it says I love seeing the original one. Yes, the original is an all time classic, no doubt. It's
Watch
definitely
that
one of
every year.
yes. Oh god, yeah, but the remake like is where they really put all the changes in the right. They changed the correct things, I should say. Because like I said, zombie makeup, a strong female lead, a more the let's see, the whole conflict between Ben and Cooper. I don't know if it was just like I don't know. It kind of it borders on between. It kind of borders on childish when you think about it.
Yeah, it kind of does, and when you really think about it.
They're just like completely bitter. They're completely bitter to each other from beginning to end.
Yep, like they refuse to work with each other. Ah, shit. Sorry, I think I'm getting my allergies. My
Uh,
eyes are really starting to itch up.
damn. Yeah.
It's getting to that time of the year, unfortunately, and my allergies last for a good 5 to 6 weeks. So I think it's time for me to start taking my allergy medicine.
Yeah, you probably should. Oh, we mentioned earlier, Nick, that Patricia Tallman, who plays Barbara in this, she was in one other horror film that I absolutely love, Army of Darkness.
Oh, Army of Dark. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she was the witch in that movie.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, she was hardly recognizable because of all that makeup in that.
She was featured in one of those horror movie countdowns where she talked about her outfit that she
Mm-hmm.
wore for Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah. Let's see. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like also one other zombie was like the Uncle Reed zombie who you see inside the inside the house, who Barbara ends up taking down when like her killer instinct really kicks in. She has that fight or die attitude throughout the rest of the film after that. But anyway, So that Uncle Reach character here, I wrote this down earlier. I did some research on the zombies before I did this. So the guy who played him is Pat Logan. He is a former Pittsburgh police officer, and I believe he was. I was told that he was featured on an episode of Cops at one point. Remember that show?
Bad boys. Bad
I've
boys.
never really watched it.
What you gonna
Me
do?
neither.
I know the theme song, yeah, but
Oh yeah,
that's
like
all
yeah, the theme song is the only thing I know about that show.
I'm gonna
Like,
say. I
for
think
real.
that's basically show that whether you watch the show or not, it's that theme, it's that song that everyone
Yeah,
remembers.
it gets stuck in your head.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
and they reference it in all sorts of movies and TV shows.
Yep.
I've seen actually. I've
Actually,
seen
it
them
was
actually.
referenced once on The Simpsons, if
It
I'm
was
not
it
mistaken.
was by a
Yep, they did.
reggae group, Inner Circle, that performed that song. I've seen a video of them performing that song, and it's I don't know. I think in my personal opinion, I think seeing them perform it live at a concert was more interesting than the TV show itself.
Oh yeah, and when I think
I didn't
about
realize I didn't realize that came out in the late '80s. By the way, that
it,
song.
it did. That's like around the time when this movie was made. So the timeline,
1970.
the timeline adds up. As far as the TV show and like him, like I think he was in this movie. Like maybe I don't know if he was still a cop back then or he had just retired after being on Cops and then started Night of the Living Dead. But anyway, yeah, the guy was apparently was a friend of Tom Savini, like a longtime friend.
The
But
80s were the greatest time.
from that's what I've been told.
You
I
know,
wish I lived that time.
Oh
the
yeah.
80s were actually really fun to be alive in.
Oh wait. Oh,
I don't pickle Tom would have said the same thing because he's shown us pictures of him from
You know,
high school from the late '80s and early '90s.
well,
Yeah.
I was born uh, early enough where I enjoyed the later part of the 70s as a teenager, and then all my high school years took place in the 80s.
I see.
So I
Well,
had the best time in the 80s.
uh, I just remembered one other zombie. When they were fighting to get into the truck to go get the gas, there was one point where Ben actually did light a zombie on fire.
That's right.
Yeah,
Did.
but then that zombie reappears, going after Tom. Like you see the body still his, but the zombie still like as smoke coming off of him. And then there was actually one what you don't see in this film that got cut, where it was you don't see like him shooting the zombie but in there was like a deleted part of this where it shows the head completely getting blown apart.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was pretty impressive. That
yeah,
had
yeah. They need to have an uncut version of this film so that we could all see that.
they have a, as I would describe, at times it does kind of have like a Lucio Fulci kind of feeling to it. Just on the gore effects, not everything, but just some of it.
To a slight degree. Yeah.
You know, I kind of like that scene where it looked like it was like half the town and bikers, people that weren't affected, and you had zombies like hanging from a tree.
Oh yeah, the hillbillies.
You
Yeah,
know,
the
but it
rednecks,
wasn't
yeah.
all hillbillies because
No, it was just the
there
townsfolk.
as well.
Yep.
And it was all these people gathered together and they were killing them in all different ways.
Yeah, that's
Or
right.
trying to kill them.
Yeah, that whole hanging them from trees made me think of like it actually looked like lynching
Yeah.
to me.
Well, I think that's what the intent was.
Yeah, it might have been. Oh, I'm actually glad you brought up that scene in like near the end where where they're just piling and like rounding up all the zombies, piling them up and everything, and also there was that part where the one guy was like wrestling with a zombie, and I'm like, that is so dumb, really dumb.
Yeah, he's just asking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I should mention there's a nice little throwback to the original film in this scene. There is a part where sheriff is being interviewed, and he comments on the zombie, and he comments on the zombies saying, "Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up."
It's the same actor.
It is. It is Russell Steiner who had played Johnny in the original Night of the Living Dead.
That's correct.
And I like how they also brought back Bill Cardell, who played the newscaster in the original film. They brought him back in the TV scene in this, and his daughter is Laura Cardell, who who played Sarah in Day of the Dead. So
And it's also interesting, when you think about when this movie came out, because obviously, as we all know, it came out in 1990, and the original plan was that George A. Romero wanted to make another Living Dead film for his franchise because as time went on, he eventually, and I'll probably talk about this again, when we if we ever, when we do that. Well, wait, didn't we already do Day of the Dead? Done? I can't remember if we did.
we did.
Okay, so in that case, I take back then what I was originally going to say. George A. Romero at one point had stated in an interview, because when he made his Living Dead series, he realized that he had a film for each decade. Like when you really look at, he had one 60s, one 70s, one 80s, and he wanted to obviously do one for the 90s, but he just never managed to do that. In fact, he says the script for Day of the Dead was more 90s than 80s when you really think about it. And
Hmm.
in a way, even though he never proceeded with making a Living Dead film for the 90s, I feel like in a way that Tom Savini was able to finish the job and made the remake instead. And that, of course, following decade, and so you had Land of the Dead that came out and Diary of the Dead.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Want to talk a bit more. I wanted to mention a bit more about the cast since we're like bringing up. Let's see. There, so Cooper in this is played by Tom Toles, who I believe he starred in several Rob Zombie films before he died.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
the actor who played Cooper is dead.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I've met him.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, we met him at, I don't know if you remember, but we met him at Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors over 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's right. We did. We
yeah, that
did.
was just a few years before he passed away.
Yeah, we met Tom Savini there as well.
That's right.
And that's when when we were over there, I asked him that question. I said, "So I did some research, and I read somewhere that it was your niece and nephew that played the two zombie kids in the original Dawn of the Dead." And he's like, "Yep, I shot him in the head with a machine gun."
Uh,
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
seems
god,
like the kind of person that
that,
wouldn't
that
hesitate to say
guy's
that.
yeah, that guy's a class act.
Yes, he is. He is.
Oh man, let's see who else. Oh, there was another nod to the original that I noticed when Helen Cooper was killed by Sarah when she came back as a zombie. So, in what's different in this, because in the original she was like stabbed to death by that garden trowel, right? In the remake, she's she's bitten by Sarah in the neck, like killed in the typical zombie fashion. But there is a cut that's made after that. It shows blood spattering on a garden trowel hanging on the wall. So that's a little nod to the original.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I just love all these little throwbacks. Like when you really pay the like, thorough attention to the film, you like look for all these,
yeah, you do. You do.
and and I just love the variety of like zombies. It shows like what they were in their past lives based on what they were wearing. Like one wore like I think a pilot's uniform. I think like it had like those that pin that has like these wings. Let's see. Oh, and also I saw one of those zombies. He was walking towards the house. He had like a hypo stuck in his arm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's like all these different types of mutilation.
Yeah, I thought that was like the silliest scenario of the whole thing. It's like, okay, so it's a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, no better. But now would be a good of a time as any to start shooting up drugs. Yeah,
Is that the truth?
or maybe he died from a drug overdose and came back as a zombie.
Maybe. That's a possibility.
Yeah, and let's see. Oh, and also the doll's mom zombie who Barbara ends up shooting. That was another memorable one. Like it's like yeah, that zombie's just holding on to that doll like it's her baby, it's just walking around, like
That was just bizarre looking at
oh,
seeing that.
yeah, it was. And let's see, that zombie that Ben had run over and the when you were first introduced to Ben. Oh, and also for that effect, where it showed like that zombie all crippled on the ground, like parallel, like he can't move his legs and lower half is completely mangled. Well, the way they did that, very simple. The actor had his lower half buried, and the legs that you see, those are fake legs.
As I would say, Don, it's fake, man.
Yeah, that inside joke we've had for like 4 years now.
Yeah, with Hermes from Futurama, in case anyone asks.
Yeah, it was the ending of that Titanic episode when Bender still had that necklace from that robot that he loved, and was said, "At least I have her necklace to remember her by. How much you think it's worth?" He looks and he's like, "It's fake, man."
Big one. I just love that.
Classic.
I commented on that video and I was like, "Oh, poor Bender. Have you realizing that it was fake, Mon?"
Oh man. And let's see. Oh yeah, what one other? They actually explained why they did one effect with that bald like zombie that was at the window. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That Barbara shoots repeatedly to prove that
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that these really are dead people coming after them. I like how they did that. It was like a foam latex layer on the chest and squibs underneath to simulate gunshot wounds.
That's interesting.
That I thought that was brilliant.
What's up, Braxton? Good to see you.
Yeah,
Braxton, how's it going, man?
He didn't go down not until she shot him right between the eyes.
That's right. She was proving a point to the rest of the group who were like debating as to like no, there's no way they're dead and just come right for us. That's not possible. But
Well, that's because the shooting match started between the people that were still alive over Cooper's daughter.
yeah, that's right. And let's see. Like her little freak out right there when she was shooting that zombie at the window repeatedly, like saying, "Is he dead? You're all seeing this. Is he dead?" It makes me think of in season 2 of The Walking Dead when Shane is like going off on everybody, like saying, "No, there's no way these zombies that you're holding inside that barn that they can be cured. They're dead, and that's it." Like he shoots the one that they're holding like with that what do they call that? That thing that they use to catch dogs with that
Oh, it's like a
pole?
noose
This noose pole,
leash.
not leash. It's like a pole.
with a noose on it.
Yeah, something like that. They used that for the zombie, but he's proven his point. Like these zombies are dead people; they can't be brought back. So he shoots them one like a few times in the chest. And would a normal person be able to take all these shots in the chest? Why is it still coming? Shoots it a couple more times. Says that's its heart and its lungs. Why is it still coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate zombies. Oh, I love zombies. You know, I mean, I mentioned this before.
Zombies are awesome.
I always loved zombies. When I mentioned before how I was introduced to zombies was in Resident Evil 2 when I was only 7 years old. And even back then when I was little, I wasn't even afraid of them. I thought they were cool. You know? So I was very interested in learning about zombies back then. And I was a kid, very enthusiastic about horror, and I was a different kid back then. And when I say different, I mean different from other kids. Kids like most 7-year-olds would probably freak out about zombies.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
horror movies.
Or my 8-year-old niece saw like this old poster I had in my old bedroom back at my parents' house at Easter over this past weekend. Saw that I had still had that clip, this little like poster of what was it? House of the Dead 3, like pinned up onto my corkboard. And she said, "Whoa, that." She's like, "Wow, that looks scary." I'm like, "Yep, zombies. I love fighting monsters in games, Maeve."
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Cooper was always very temperamental throughout this whole film.
Yeah, it was.
But I should mention in the original, there was one point where Ben and Cooper did try working together at just one point when they made that escape plan. Like he's like even suggesting where to find the key ring. He's like, there's a big key ring down there. Maybe we could find. Maybe there is a gas pump key there. So he did. They did try to work together at one point, but then when the plan failed, that's when they were back to their bitterness towards one another. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's how it was in the original. But in this remake, they're just bitter, hateful towards one another from beginning to end. Right until they were just shooting each other at the very end, because Ben was was shooting the zombified or trying to shoot was about to shoot the zombified Sarah, who just come out from the basement after killing Helen, and was when then Barbara ended up killing her, and then Cooper tries to shoot Barbara. Ben defends her, shooting each other. Then Cooper gets separated going upstairs, ends up hiding in the attic, and then Ben ends up succumbing to his wounds in the when he locked himself in the basement when all the zombies came in, and you see his zombie and like when the Barbara and that whole rescue group, all those people who were taking down the zombies, they came across Zombie Ben when they sawed open the cellar door.
Tony Todd as a zombie. That was pretty cool.
That
Yeah,
was
it was. And,
yeah, I was not expecting that.
and it's interesting
Nor
that he
was
did
I.
this. It was interesting that he did this also before he did just 3 years before, well, 2 years before he did Candyman.
Yes, I
That's
did
what
mention
he
that.
was saying earlier because, you know, like I said, him walking around with that crowbar, that clawed ended crowbar, it kind of made you think Candyman, even though
Yeah.
he didn't do Candyman in that
I can see that.
until after that.
I also find it, I don't know if you already talked about this, Don, but one thing I also found interesting was when we first see Tony Todd when he pulled up to the house too, is where he stands outside and he pulls out a cigarette. He's smoking it while this is going on, and I think to myself, "Wow, he's still smoking cigarettes. Still having a smoke at a time like this," which can't see why not.
Yep. And then as right when that happens, as Braxton points out, that the gas pump key was down there that whole time.
Oh yeah, yep, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was like the worst. I was like, "Oh my god, really?"
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I just think I don't think they did find the gas pump key in the original either, did they?
No, they didn't.
No. But
Did the gas pump blow up in the original?
it did.
It did blow up, but not the same way like they did in the remake because it was accidentally caught on fire. They definitely did not intend to shoot at it.
Well, they did shoot it in the original too,
Well, they
like
shot at it, but not that same exact way.
not the same way. It was different in the. And then it's like so Ben was killed by the other by the group because he was zombified. But then Barbara like goes to check the rest of the house and comes across Cooper, who just glad to see her, like saying, "Oh God, you came back with help." But then she just point blank shoots him in the head because of for avenging Ben.
Yep,
Yeah, that was like that's just like that was at one point where she just kills in cold blood.
it was justified.
But yeah, I could see why she did it though.
Yep,
And she just says, "Yeah, that's another one for the fire."
yeah. She did that obviously before even the guys could see what she did.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So it's like they just thought it was just another zombie.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on.
Turns out the gas pump key was okay. Sorry, no, you already read that. Never mind.
Yeah. So there were quite a lot of interesting changes that were made to this because some people argue about why should you change something that was that was perfect in the original. They say that about all sorts of different remakes, which I can understand in many cases, but in this instance, I mean, I've said that before that there were things that modern filmmaking technology were able to improve on with this remake.
Right, right.
Yeah, and I believe Tom Savini got real creative with it.
Yeah, he did. In the end, he really did a good job with it, as far as I'm concerned.
Because it feels like this film was like his second chance at becoming part of Night of the Living Dead. Because well, you weren't here for this, man, Nick, but I mentioned that he was supposed to be part of the original version of Night of the Living Dead back in 1968, but Vietnam War was going on, and he and Tom Savini got drafted.
That's what I was about. That's what I was about to get to. He was drafted to Vietnam, and he often does when he's in documentaries. Like different horror movie documentaries. He talks about his experiences from Vietnam, and not only what he experienced, but in a way that kind of inspired for what made him become the special effects artist. Is witnessing the horrors and graphicness of war.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
If that's a real word, that is graphicness.
Graphicness. Well, we'll make it a word.
It is. It's now. It is now. It's a word now.
It's a word now. We just made it. You've heard it for the first time here on the FearFans podcast. Graphicness.
graphicness.
Yep. Oxford, add that to your dictionary.
Yeah.
Hey, you were able to add dough from The Simpsons, so yeah, why
Dope.
not this? Oh man. And also I like how they gave like an explanation for like for the dead body that was found upstairs. You know, I mean, Barbara didn't never like came across it like she did in the original. Well, at least she did come across the left hand of that body.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the hand dropping down?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's revealed later, like Tony, when Ben goes upstairs and finds guy with a brace on his leg, and he had shot himself with his own gun, and like his left hand was eaten off, and then you find out later that was Tom's cousin Satchel, and I always wondered, is Satchel that much of a common name in some places? Because I've never heard of it until I've seen this movie.
I don't know, honestly.
Like, because I don't know anybody around here who's named Satchel. I always wondered if that's just common in like some other states. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
Never heard that name before.
I've never heard of that one either.
Yeah, Satchel. I mean, I'm wondering if could that just have just been a nickname? I don't know.
Maybe the parents were on something.
I guess that is one likely
First
possibility.
thing they saw, well, that's the kid's name.
Oh man.
That reminds me of that show. What was it? That reminds me of that. And Family Guy did a parody of this too, like that show Good Times, where the mother's name was Florida. Florida. That's the name of a state. Florida.
Oh yes, when they were referencing that show from the 70s.
That's
right.
what it is. It's called Good Times. I've
Good
seen
time.
it.
That's right.
Dynamite. He responded to the end of that segment.
Oh,
JJ.
and what he said. Oh yeah, that's like the most memorable line of her in the original, saying, "We not like living together, but dying together is not going to solve anything." Yeah. Yeah. So obviously the Coop. Yeah. So obviously the Coopers, their marriage was on the rocks, and I was wondering, like, what were they doing before this little zombie outbreak? Because they were all dressed up in their nice clothes, like he's dressed up, he's in wearing a suit, and
Yeah,
and
it
like
looked
Hel
like
and
they were
Helen.
going to church.
Yeah, I was.
Probably.
Yeah. Could this have taken place on a Sunday, like when they were just in their church clothes?
It's hard to say, but if you look at if you notice, there is a calendar in the house, which I guess it's set actually 2 years before, like instead of like 1968. I think it's supposed to take place just 2 years prior, in 1966, which is ironic because another movie that same year did that also, and believe it or not, that was Rosemary's Baby. That also, for some reason, there were a few movies in 1968 that took place in 66. Why exactly? I mean, I don't know fully what, because 1966 wasn't. I mean, I know it was a big
was on
year, but
acid.
yeah, that was the beginning of when people were on acid.
No, but you think about that time and the clothes that they're wearing. You know, you think about that 60s that time frame. A lot of people were going to church on a regular basis.
Well, I was actually referring to the 1990 version, but yeah,
it's still referencing from
but still, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it was still referencing what, obviously, because it makes a lot of references from the original film from the 60s.
Yeah, it could have been that it was Sunday and they were just going to church. Yeah, with kind of problems that they evidently had between one another. God knows they did need Jesus in their lives,
or maybe even some kind of family counseling.
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows?
I mean, I can understand Cooper freaking out for his daughter. He obviously cared about his daughter.
Speaking as a father, you can screw with me or whatever, but you screw with my kids, and you'll see a whole different side of me that you won't like.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
It's like just to a small degree. Like I can understand Cooper as far. I mean, just as far as him and his daughter. It's like you got to look out for your kid. Yeah.
Braxton, no.
She was already sick in his eyes as it was, and his main concern was trying to get her help.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Braxton, I was referring to the original 1968 film that takes place in 1966. 1990, the remake, that one takes more modernly.
Yeah. Oh wait, what is this?
Oh,
Satchel, the
Tom,
name is strongly associated with legendary. Oh, Satchel Paige, huh? Okay.
baseball pitcher Satchel Paige.
I didn't understand the side when he said, "I'm not gambling with my daughter's life." It's like, yeah, I for sure, yeah. But other than that, he was just like completely hostile towards pretty much everybody around him.
Including his wife.
Exactly, yeah, especially his wife.
Well, I think there was something more there.
Yeah,
They needed
Yeah,
counseling for sure.
yeah.
Their
Isn't
marriage
that the
was on the
truth?
rocks.
Yep.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like yes, there was some like yeah, there was some hostility towards each other in the original film, but it was much worse than this.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, this
Definitely,
guy was really bad. I mean, he went overboard a bit.
he did, but the actor played it well.
Yeah,
Like
he did.
Yeah, he did.
I believe so. Glad when she threw the music box at it. I remember that scene. Yeah, right. That was right before where they were gunning Mr. Magruder, the zombie, at the window. And oh god, I remember that scene. Like, yeah, Judy Rose freaking out. No, don't shoot! It's Mr. Magruder from the Legion Hall. And like, and I'm just thinking, wait, what is a Legion Hall? So you know what? Actually, here, let me look this up right now.
What is a Legion Hall? It's like a
I have
VFW.
no idea. I have
Is that
no idea.
military?
Yes, it's like a VFW. You got VFWs, and then you got the American Legion Hall.
Is a venue, primary meeting place, community and centers, American Legion, U.S. Veterans Organization. Oh, okay,
Right,
that
right.
makes sense. Okay, I got you.
Yes, there's a lot of them around Wisconsin,
Oh,
both
oh,
VFWs and the American Legion.
I see. Yeah, because I see those like all around downtown area. So I'm just like, I was just wondering.
Yeah, of course.
It's all veterans. It's all a safe place for veterans to go and
Yeah,
hang out.
yeah. And Braxton, I'm with you on that. I just could not stand Cooper's like abusive attitude. You know, no, a real man always respects the women. Always.
Well, yeah, that and man, he lost his cool under the pressure.
Yeah,
I mean, in a situation like that, you got to try to keep your cool the best you can.
yeah.
Losing your cool, you're going to make mistakes, and it'll get you killed.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much what Tom did when he panicked, like saying, "Oh, wait, we lost Ben. Oh, wait, these are the wrong keys. So I'm just gonna shoot the gas hose to maybe that or shoot the keys. Like not no not remembering that shotguns like that
Right,
spray not bullets but buckshot, which spreads,
right.
and one of those buckshot hits the line
Yeah,
and
that
blows
that was
them,
kind of
Or
ridiculous.
the
and that gas
fuel,
line hits the torch and blows them to hell.
and wasn't it just a padlock?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
A
padlock.
simple padlock that just held you from taking the hose off. Two ways around that. Cut the hose, put it in the truck, put it in the gas tank of the truck, right?
Hmm.
Or you go and get something like the crowbar Tony Todd was carrying around and bust the padlock. Either way, the chances of that gas tank exploding were a lot slimmer doing it my way.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I would have had other. I mean, if I was in this situation, I would still like carry a knife with me, not against like zombies, but just as a tool for like
Right.
if you ever need it. Like seriously, hold on one second.
oh, he's getting the big guns out.
Okay, like I have this multi tool that I use for all sorts of different things. Like, of course, there's the blade right here, but hang on. There's let's see. You got your bottle opener. You've got oh
Oh,
here
it's like a Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, let's see, wire cutters. So this the like always have something like this for like a life or death situation. You never know when you're going to need a multi tool.
I
That's
got the
true.
Rambo knife.
Yeah. So if it was me, I would just do this: take the blade, cut the gas line, and just put it in the
Yeah,
gas tank.
exactly.
That would have been
Easy peasy.
much safer thing to do than just
And
shooting a gun anywhere at a gas pump.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
I got,
that was the stupidest thing in the entire movie that anybody did.
is that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
really
was.
is.
It was the stupidest thing in that
Like,
movie.
do you real like? I understand that it's like a life or death situation, but I mean, really, do you think it's going to be all fine if you not only shoot at a padlock, but also a spot where gasoline is present, and
Yeah.
not think shit's going to happen to you?
I mean, I
Well,
mean,
again, it's not the gasoline; it's the fumes
The
from the
fumes, yeah,
gasoline.
dude,
that either
it-
either way. I mean, you think if that's that things are going to be fine, and not think anything's going to happen to you that way.
yeah, it's like, and not only that, why even take the torch with you to a gas pump? If it was me, I would ditch the torch. You know?
Yeah, just
It,
shoot at it and see what happens
Well,
if you're
they
yeah,
even still alive. Then
yeah,
though just for their stupidity's sake and trying to uh, you know justify why they bring the torch is those zombies were a little bit afraid of the fire.
yeah. It's pretty much
So
Frankenstein.
having a torch and being able to go there, you can kind of slow them down or make them back off or whatever. But
Yeah, they pretty much had the same
keeping it
weakness as
that
Frankenstein.
close, keeping it that close to the gas pump was a stupid mistake.
Yes.
Oh, we'll just put it in the bed of the truck, which is parked right here next to the gas pump right now, and we'll leave it there. It'll be fine burning in the truck.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, no,
that was just dumb. That
it
was just
was.
dumb to begin with.
It was.
They could have figured out a better way to get the damn thing open.
Yeah. It would be literally any, and like, it's like, oh, like, I have a gun I can shoot this, the lock off this thing. Is there any, what would you do? And I would be like, anything else. Literally anything.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, you got a pocket knife. You sit there and cut the hose.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of those hillbilly rednecks do you think would have had a pocket knife in on their possession?
I'm sure they probably would have had countless numbers of them.
Right, right, exactly. Because most of them are hunters and fishermen and stuff like that. They're going to have a pocket knife.
Yeah. Oh, here's one feature I forgot to show. This right here, you attach like a drill bit on here, and this acts as a screwdriver.
Oh, really? So it's got a couple of those features. Then it's more than just a pocket knife.
Oh yeah. So yeah, point continues. Point being, like having a multi tool, must have for like all sorts of situations.
I bought one of those Rambo knives back in the day where you open it up, it's got the compass, and then it's got matches, it's got, fishing line in there and all that, a
Hmm.
sewing thread and needle and all that shit, just like Rambo had. But
Yeah.
the whole knife itself, can work as a saw or whatever. I mean, either way, pocket knife works too.
Yeah, that's right. Here, I wanted to look up this other here. Braxton brought up the character Judy Rose. I heard Judy, like the actress who played her, Katie Finneran. I believe she starred in all sorts of different TV shows. I'm trying to figure out which ones stand out. Let's see. Oh, wait, she was in Freaky.
What, Freaky?
Yeah, she was in that new movie Freaky. You know that which is like basically like a horror version of Freaky Friday.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I'm trying to think of
I,
what
I had three of them sitting in the drawer next to me.
let's see. She was in Michael J. Fox show. She's done all kinds of TV stuff, just like the actress who played Sarah. Like yeah, Sarah moved on to be like the actress who played her. What was her name? Heather Mazer. Yeah, she moved on to become a TV actress.
I don't
Oh, that
watch
makes
much
sense.
TV.
Yeah, I think she's like in her late 40s now.
Okay.
Let's see. Yep, she was in Pretty Little Liars. Yeah, my cousins loved that show. Let's see. General Hospital. Yeah, I don't.
That's a soap opera that's been
Yeah,
running decades.
yeah, I don't watch that.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
mom used to watch that when
yeah.
she was alive.
No, I see. Well, I mean, me, I would know nothing about it. I don't watch soap operas.
Well, I don't either,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I'm
watch
just saying
those
I
either.
only know about it because it was one of my mom's favorites. You just never came over when that was on because she wouldn't talk to you till
Oh,
it was over with.
I imagine like ever since like 60 years of like assuming that they put a new episode out weekly, that would be like thousands of episodes that I would have no time to catch up on.
Right.
No time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, some of those stuff have been running. Some of those shows have already been running for like 50 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like 3 or 4 major soap operas from the 70s
Yeah.
that are still being and not in rerun or they're all. It's not like repeat episodes. They're like new episodes.
Yeah, they
weekly
always make new
still.
ones. It's insane.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
There's
insane. Yes.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, like I never got into soap operas and there's no way in hell I'm gonna start now and try catching up with all that. Yeah, no way. You can forget it.
I mean, that's like
So some of the primetime soap operas were pretty good though, but that just depends on the type of person you are. Like I got into Grey's Anatomy because I was in the house. The medical
Right.
things. I
I mean
used
that's
to watch
different.
Quincy when I was younger.
Right.
You know.
But,
that's like there's only one other. There's one show that's not a soap opera that has done exactly that. That's lasted for decades, and I know a lot of people are fans of this show. And the only show I know that's not a soap opera that's still going on to this day,
mhm.
undoubtedly,
Simpsons.
undoubtedly is Doctor Who.
Oh,
Oh, Doctor Who, yeah.
Doctor Who's been
Yeah,
going on.
The Simpsons.
Huh?
The
Yeah.
Simpsons.
Oh well, the Simpsons has been running since the '80s.
Yeah.
Doctor Who has been running since the '60s.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
was never a Doctor
Yeah.
Who fan either.
You know,
Nor I.
well, I will tell you this. Remember a long time ago?
But
when
I
we had-
didn't know what a TARDIS is.
I will say this. Remember that one time when we had Greg backing on with us? He is a huge
Mhm.
Doctor Who fan. He could
Mark
basically
is.
talk. Yeah, he could talk to you about that show for hours on end. He loves that show. In fact,
Oh man.
Jeremy. In fact, Jeremy had him on one time on 13th Dimension. All they talked about was Doctor Who.
Well, see that's my co-host Mark is a big Doctor Who fan. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
he'd be another one that.
Well, just an idea. If you ever want to do something involving Doctor Who, I would
I don't
definitely
think so.
recommend Greg.
I'd fall asleep.
I really would too. But let's see, what else was I gotta say? I could have when there was something else. Oh yes, the actor who played Tom in this, William Butler. I did see him play a bit part in one other horror film. It was in Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. He played Michael in that.
Yeah, I
I
read.
He got killed by Jason.
I think I stopped after 3.
Well, check this out. Tom just said
Oh, here.
the original movie
hold on.
came out in 1968. It played in my theater with Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Oh, I didn't realize the original actor who played Tom committed suicide.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
don't know.
that's and what Tom just said, that's kind of a strange combination.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, here. What's it last week? It's one of the few remakes that I feel. Yeah. I liked Tony Todd and Patricia Tallman working together in that film. They were great together.
Yeah, they were.
Hey, Irene, how's it going?
yeah. I've seen Tony Todd in a lot of things, but he'll always be
Yeah.
Candyman to me.
Yes,
Oh,
in,
guys,
for
real
sure.
quick.
And
Yeah, I got
also, wait, hold on. I was going to say one thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Tony Todd in Final Destination Bloodlines, which I believe was the last film that he did before he died. So,
I have to
yeah,
check that
I'm
out.
doing this for him.
real
Check
quick too.
that
I just
out.
want to say give some shout outs to those who've been watching on my person because again, if it's on my personal page, you guys aren't going to see them. My Aunt Barb is watching. Good to see you. Donnie SLPI is watching too. He made 2 comments. I love the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. I like how they made Barbara a badass who wasn't afraid to get her hands dirty instead
Yes.
of incompetent dumb blonde. The zombies look much better too. And then he also said, I think it was in response to what you were saying about Pretty Little Liars. Pretty Little Liars, the original, best show ever. I've watched it through and through probably 12 times now. The remake sucks. As if they are trying to be Pretty Little Liars, they should just made it. They should have just made it its own thing.
I see.
He's
Oh,
got a point there.
Oh yeah. Speaking of remakes, they just launched the. Well, I don't think it's a remake. It's more like a reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer. They just launched the trailer for it today, and I got to do a reaction video to it. I gotta.
How was it?
I know I haven't watched it yet. I gotta see the trailer.
Oh,
But,
I thought you already seen it. Okay, never
no,
mind.
I gotta see it. Yep. But Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I totally agree with you guys. The best things that were improved with were the zombies and also Barbara. She's definitely portrayed much better here than just being some shook up, traumatized woman just spending the majority of the movie be just sitting on the couch, like
Yeah,
in the original.
Or
yeah, the
framed in
tonic.
some corner somewhere.
Yeah. So I love like watching Aliens is what inspired Tom Savini to make Barbara into the fighter that she is in this remake.
And then, of course, like I was saying before, and then a few years later, she would become an evil witch. She would be
Yeah.
the bad guy then.
Army of Darkness.
That's right.
Yes, Until Dawn. I can't. Yeah, I haven't played the game yet, but I should. I got to play the game. Yeah, because yeah, lots of people say, "Oh, you like Dawn? How come you not played? How have you not played Until Dawn? You're supposed to be a horror fan." Yeah, like I'm like, guys, there's only so many games that I can play at a time.
That's what I always say a lot of times when people want me to cover locations and events for Nick Files. Like I can only do so much because it's a lot of work to put those together.
Right, and yeah, I hear you. Let's see. Oh yeah, starting tomorrow, new live stream series. I just completed my live stream series focusing on Silent Hill 2 remake. Starting tomorrow, I'm doing a game that a lot of people voted for me to play for a while now. It's Far Cry 3. I know nothing about the Far Cry franchise, so but maybe I'll have fun with it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I've said it. I'll say it again. Johnny Barbara could have gone back and should have went back for Johnny's car keys.
Yeah, really. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the other thing. You know what? That's another thing too he brings up. And she talks about how you can just walk around him. She could have done that sooner.
Yeah, she could. Yeah, she could have done that like a lot sooner, like outrunning these zombies, going for the car keys. But
Well, they move so slow. They had time.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
but
know.
but it gets more dangerous with the more as the numbers of them increase. You know, like
That's the thing too. Even though that they're slow, that is as long as you don't have very many of them. If you have like hundreds of them, then you're in real trouble then.
yeah.
You need a big axe or machete and just chop their heads off.
That's
Well, confronting them head on like that probably wouldn't be as simple. You know, one mistake and it's over.
true.
Well, if your
That
life
is true.
depends on it, you won't make mistakes.
Yeah. You know, I would just assemble like a whole team of people who fought zombies in movies, like a multi fandom, like
Yeah.
let's see, yeah, like the guys from Zombieland. Let's see, the guys from Shaun of the Dead, and also the martial artist priest from Dead Alive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I kick ass for the Lord.
I love that. I love that. So that's probably like my favorite scene on that entire movie.
Yeah,
We
I just
haven't covered
wish
that one yet either.
Yeah, I just wish they would have kept him on for the rest of the movie. I would love to see him fight out those more zombies with kung fu. That was awesome.
I know. I wish. Yeah, I wish they didn't kill him off so good. I thought he was. I'm thinking, oh, really? He could have been a good fighter for the rest of the movie. Damn it.
Oh, he William Butler who played Thomas. Oh, he was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Oh, wait a minute. I think you're right here. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched that much of the film because I wasn't too crazy about it. Much more so was I not crazy about the fourth film of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh my god, I hate that movie. I hate the
I
fourth one.
never watched past one.
The second one is worth seeing. It's
Is it?
let's see. Yeah, oh yeah, it's got Dennis Hopper in it.
Yep.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah,
And then one of the guys from the first movies is back in one of the family members.
oh yeah. Oh, and also Bill Moseley, Chop Top.
Yep, Bill Mosley's in it. And then I forgot her name. Oh my god, what's
Yeah,
what?
we just talked about her in Leprechaun 3 because she was
Yeah,
in
we
that.
did. What the hell? Why can't I remember her name? It's like an easy one too. Here, I'm looking it up right now, just to get it out of the way. That was Caroline Williams.
Caroline Williams, that's right. It's not good, but yeah, I know it's not that great, but I recognized him immediately as being in. Oh yeah, I do recognize him from, like I said, Friday the 13th Part 7. Yeah, we got to get back to covering the Friday the 13th movies. We still got more to go, and I want to cover Freddy versus Jason as well because I know a lot of people have been asking that for a while.
got a long way to go. Once we get to the other movies.
Yeah, this summer I'm thinking like one movie a month. One like once a month we'll cover a Friday the 13th movie. I'm trying to like visualize like the whole schedule in my head, like which movie we'll cover on certain Tuesdays. I know that we're going to cover Jaws 3 and Jaws the Revenge this summer just to get those out of the way.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's like, and it's like, and it's like,
you know who's going to be watching that episode of the Revenge, right?
yes. So as far as Jaws of the Revenge, I know some of you are gonna want to are gonna probably watch. Well, probably thinking, "Oh, I haven't seen it in a while. I'll have to rewatch it." I'm like, "Yeah, feel free to do so. I really don't want to watch it again."
Yeah, but someone's
Yeah.
going to be, somebody we already know is going to be trolling you for that one. That
Oh my god.
I'm gonna have to. You know what? I'm almost tempted when we get to that. I'm almost tempted about reaching out. I was like, hey, guess what we're gonna be reviewing?
Oh, also, Fourth of July one that we gotta do is Uncle Sam. That straight to
Oh,
video horror flick from the '90s.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
which has Isaac Hayes who voiced Chef in South Park. That's
Hello
one thing
there,
I'm excited about.
children.
Yes.
I can't do
Oh,
it.
I miss that. Yeah, I know. I miss Isaac Hayes.
I mean, who doesn't? He was awesome.
Yeah, he was talented musician too.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw. Yes, we will cover that. We will. We'll get to that. Covering Predator 2, cool. Let's cover. Wait, yes, we did cover all those. Yeah, we did cover all the Nightmare on Elm Street ones. Um, yeah, we just got to do the rest of the Friday 30th. The reason why I stopped though is because everybody got sick of us covering that. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just throw in some more variety. We'll cover all sorts of different topics.
Yeah, it was
It was
starting.
fun.
It was starting to become a little bit. It was starting to become a little too much. I mean, it's like we're talking about the same story over and over again. So we had to go expand beyond the franchise, because we just didn't want to talk about the
Right.
same type of movies each week.
Yeah. At the time, I just thought it'd be easier for us to just cover an entire franchises at a time, But
Yeah,
yeah,
that can get a
I
that
guess it
can
just yeah, I guess it just wasn't meant to work out that way. So,
that
but
can
Have
I'm
to
okay with
space,
either way.
hectic.
just got to space it out.
Yeah, yeah. Try and yeah. I'm saying for the yeah. I'm we'll cover the rest of them real soon. And he was in Hustle and Flow. Oh, nice. The favorite film from him. Oh yeah, that's right. Man, yeah. Like seriously, Isaac Hayes. Yeah, that guy was awesome.
Donnie said
And
on my side. Sorry, I just wanted to respond from what Donnie said on my side. He asked us a question. Have you all seen the show called From? Anyone familiar with that?
what?
From.
What?
From.
From?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ring a
Don't
bell,
think so.
anyone? Or because he said if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. It would make for a great topic.
Hmm. I'll have to look this up.
That's what I'm doing right now.
You said it was called From?
Yeah, it's a TV. Okay, yeah, it's a TV series. Oh, it came out 2 years ago. Um,
Oh, here.
it's by science fiction horror series created by John Griffith.
Hmm.
Hmm. Series
Okay.
received acclaim for its story, directing, and the performances of the cast.
I'll have to watch it. Yeah,
And
because there's like so many shows out there. I'm just like jumping all over the place trying to stay caught up with everything.
yeah, I know it's hard for me to do that too. Yeah, there's 3 seasons that's already broadcasted, and it's already been renewed for a 4th season. So I'm gonna have to check this out too.
All right. All right. So, yeah, Night of the Living Dead 1990 remake is definitely one of the better horror remakes. Like I feel like it doesn't get as much praise as it deserves because seriously, the like I've been saying going like crazy about how amazing the zombies look in this because I mean, really they are. They look phenomenal. Like they look like actual walking corpses.
They do. They really do. Excuse me.
Yeah, and also the casting was phenomenal. Tony Todd, Patricia Tallman, everybody just nailed their roles to a T.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my verdict is it's a great remix, so of course I like it. You know, it's something I definitely recommend.
I don't know what it is. I also do like the music that plays at the end of the film during the credits. It just has just such an
Oh
eerie
yeah,
sounding to it.
it
And you know
yeah
it's funny.
they did have some eerie music.
I don't think I even told you this, Don. I actually have that theme song on my Halloween music list, and ironically enough, it's because I actually really kind of set the tone for my music list. You haven't heard the whole thing, obviously. You've only heard just
Right.
probably about a good 10% of it because there's a lot more to it that I have. But the Night of the Living Dead 1990 ending theme is actually one of the last songs that plays on my Halloween music list. But it's funny. It's right before because here I'm just going to try to make this as short as I can because as you know I have different holiday music lists, right? So
Right.
most of the other holiday music lists I have, when the music list is coming close to an end, I kind of play kind of more of the somber, kind of sadder songs, if you will. It's to
Right.
signify that the holiday music list is coming to an end. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean it's going to be the last time I'll hear it, if it's playing for the entire month, but it really signifies when it is the last time that I'm listening to it. But for my Halloween music list, it's completely the opposite compared to the other ones. Instead of having like the sad, somber tunes, it's like this more of the intense, really scary music. In a way, kind of like I'm saving the best and scariest for last. But right before you get to those intense theme songs from these other horror movies, the Night of the Living Dead remake theme song plays just a few songs before it gets to the really intense music. So in a way, it's supposed to act as kind of like an eerie precursor to
Yeah.
what's to come forward, like right before the really scary music starts playing. And I liked it so much the first time. I thought, you know what, that sounds like it could be a precursor to something, and so I added it to the later part of my Halloween music list.
Yeah. That's great. Seriously, like the zombies in this, it's incredible. Yeah. But the music, all the new things they added into this just worked completely, which is more than what I can say about the god awful 2006 3D remake that everyone should just stay the hell away from.
I have not seen
Yeah.
it, thankfully.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this was remade a second time in straight to video 2006 and made into 3D, and that remake just really really pisses me off. I hated it when I saw it as a teenager, and my opinion has not changed. I still hate it now, and I hate it so much I actually consider it to be one of the worst horror remakes of all time. Somewhere in the top 5. Oh, just thinking back to those
Without
scenes that were so
a
stupid. Not even Sid Haig could save that film.
doubt. And
Yep,
Sid
seriously,
Haig
don't
is
even
another
bother.
guy who's gone too.
Yep, Sid Haig, yeah.
All the
Yeah,
great
don't even bother
horror,
with that.
all the great horror masters are all dying, sadly.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously, Dawn of the Dead. No, sorry, Night of the Living Dead 3D remake. Avoid it. Avoid it at all costs. You know what? Let me check and see how much it has on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me see.
It's probably going to be really
Rotten
bad.
Tomatoes. Night of the Living Dead 3D. It's got 40% of Rotten Tomatoes. Are you freaking joking?
I was
It
expecting
does. It
you
deserves
I
40
thought for a
percent.
second you were going to say
It
something
deserves
else.
anything above 5% is too high.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my god.
didn't we like last week or something like that figure out that Rotten Tomatoes can't give a good score on anything?
They can on a lot of things, but there have been occasions where I disagreed with them. You know, like they gave a good praise to like let's see they on at one point I looked up like Rogue, that crocodile movie that we covered. At one point it first came out, it got 100% Rotten Tomatoes, which I thought was extremely generous. I'm like, wow, okay, they really like this movie. Um, let's see. They gave good scores to let's see, Dawn of the Dead remake. Let's see, John Carpenter's The Thing. I agree with them wholly on. Let's see, Bram Stoker's Dracula. So there are times where they get it right, but there are also times where they don't, where they completely miss the mark on the quality of movies. So I will say that.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it for this edition of the Fear Fans podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Nick, please be on time from now on.
If I didn't have these issues with my computer as well as another separate issue, I would be on sooner. So it's been kind of a rough day for me today.
No,
I'm
hey, man,
I'm
hey,
exhausted.
oh, no, hey, no worries, man. I was just messing.
I know you were. I know you were. I could take the sarcasm. And also, just so everybody else knows too, uh, I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be on with Nick Files. We're if for those, well, I know Braxton, unfortunately, he wasn't able to watch last week. We finally finished the tri-state tornado presentation. Not a part 4, but this time we are going to be focusing on locations, surviving locations that still stand today that were from the tri-state tornado of 1925. Different historic and some haunted locations involving this tornado. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. I'm hoping Samantha will be joining me for that. I got to reach. In fact, I know it's already like what is it, 10, almost 10:30 already. So that means it's So that means it's probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning right now out in the UK. So either way, I got to send her a voicemail message to see if because she wanted to actually, even though I don't usually have people on very frequently for Nick Files, she wanted to explore the spiritual and paranormal side of that tornado. And what better way than to present some of the surviving locations of this twister, and really go into detail about it. So even though she's asleep right now, I'll still send her a voicemail just so she has it ready. When she wakes up in the UK in a few hours. But that's what we'll be talking about with Nick Files tomorrow. Hopefully, if I'm able to put some slideshows together.
For sure. Have a great. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and subscribe to my channel, to Nick's channel, to I was gonna say This Is Tom's World, but Tom it was not here. I'm surprised that Tom wasn't here because
Really
Night of the Living Dead was made in yeah,
He's been having
but
some medical issues, from what I understand.
Tom was? I thought that was Kate.
No, Tom also.
Hey, Lauren.
Him and
Oh.
his dad, they've been
How come I didn't know about
tested
this?
for diabetes.
I didn't know.
Oh,
So it's like
Yeah.
a blood sugar problem. So
Well, I know he had the blood pressure, but I didn't know he had additional problems.
yeah, they
Oh,
thought he
man.
might have diabetes. The last I talked to him.
that's I'm surprised I didn't know about this.
And he was just doing his live yesterday. In fact, I know he's not drinking beer anymore, but I will just say this. I threw a good joke because, as some of you guys know, Don, I know you don't really watch, but I come up with these jokes for him all the time. Like as soon as I join the show, it's actually calling him the most interesting man in the YouTube world, like the guy from Dos Equis. The first, I just love the comment that I gave him, and he responded. It was just funny. I love how he responded. The one I came up with this time was, I don't always drink beer, but when I do, you could call me Beercules.
Oh man.
Beercules.
So, yeah, subscribe to my channel, to Nick's channel, to Things Network. Thank you guys so much for watching. And next week, I'm thinking about Child's Play 2 because, there have been some people who've been wanting us to continue covering Child's Play movies. So, yeah, Chucky, we're back to talking about Chucky.
I have a real Child's Play doll from the
Ooh,
studios back when that movie came out.
nice.
Ironically,
Oh,
that
man.
came out.
Working in the video stores, managing them. So we ordered enough copies of the film. We got like one. So each one of us as managers got one of those Chucky dolls.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
funny, that movie, the sequel, it came out the same year as Night of the Living Dead remake, 1990.
Right.
They had arachnophobia at the not forget that too.
Oh yeah, Arachnophobia.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah, John
1990. That's
Goodman.
right. Yep. So yeah, that'll be it for this edition of the Fear Fans podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we discuss Child's Play 2. Yeah, it's been a while since we covered Child's Play, so yeah, this was quite a bit overdue. So looking forward to it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week.
And happy